So there is something about confidence that most people will never figure out. Something so powerful is etched into our psyche, so deep and below the surface that it operates within the subconscious. Yeah, subconsciously. And those who know this are the ones who control everything. They are the ones we notice when they walk into a room. They are the ones we think of as superior. In this video, I'll be sharing with you how to be so confident you become a magnet. Yeah, I'll be sharing with you how to be so confident you become a human magnet. Starting with a few questions to guide us into context. Have you ever been in a position you knew that if you had just confidence or just a confident approach, you'd have gotten what you wanted? That is, instinctively, you just knew that if you had only that feeling of confidence and you were able to express it, you'd have had what you wanted. Or have you ever wondered what sets apart the most confident and charismatic individuals from the rest? Have you? What if I told you that confidence is not just a feeling but a magnetic force that can attract to you vast opportunities and relationships that are ideal and compatible with your being? This isn't going to be a short video. It's going to be slightly long, and that's because I want, when you're done with this video, not only would you subscribe, which I'm sure you will, but you would have all the information you'd need and more than enough to develop insane confidence that creates a gravitation towards you and gets you all that you desire. Trust me, it will. So, I'm about to reveal the simple but surprising reason you'd struggle with confidence, thereby struggling with getting what you want, be it a promotion, the girl you'd really love to have, or just standing in front of people and sharing genuinely how you feel. I'm also going to share with you how you can overcome the feeling of low self-confidence. I'll be sharing the most powerful confidence-boosting strategies that I've learned from years of experience through experimentation and research. What you're about to learn will transform everything you thought you knew about confidence and give you the tool to become a magnet, a human magnet. So, I used to struggle with crippling self-doubt and low self-confidence. I literally struggled with a very crippling self-doubt and low confidence. I had this experience back in my days in the university where a lecturer, while lecturing, cited me at the back of the class and called upon me to answer a question. This was a question that the answer I knew very well, but standing in the front of over 200 eyeballs staring directly at me, all I could think of at that moment was that feeling of crippling self-doubt and low confidence. Like I could feel my legs shake, literally, like I could feel my legs shake. Whether or not other people could notice it, I could really feel my legs shake. I ended up answering the question, but if I should be very honest, and if I knew what I know now, if I had developed that skill of self-confidence, I would have walked in front of that classroom, in front of all those eyeballs, in front of all those students, relaxed, calm, and honestly answering the question in ways that would suggest that this guy, he owns the place. Yeah, I would have. Making it a memorable experience, because that's what confidence people do, right? But then as a result of that experience, I discovered secrets to not just becoming confident, but how the confidence I had developed had made me a human magnet for attracting the kind of relationships I would like to be in, with girls, with my friends, with my guys. Also attracting vast amount of opportunities that were in alignment with my values and goals, and the kind of experience I genuinely wanted to be a part of. And I will be sharing with you these secrets. I will be sharing these secrets with you today. So pay attention, because moving forward, I would also be using psychological facts, experiments, and discoveries I've made over the years. I'll be giving you real life examples of successful influencers and leaders who have achieved unshakable confidence, achieving success, and their desires as a result of becoming human magnets. Let me just clear the air by stating some of the common misconceptions that people have about the idea of confidence. So confidence is not about being flawless or being perfect. It's far from it. It's about embracing one's imperfection and being comfortable with yourself, within yourself. Confident people acknowledge their weakness and work on improving them. Another is confidence is not just about being loud and assertive, because most people feel like if you are confident, you appear as that very loud, egocentric human. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance, or confidence and pride. Confidence is about being able to quiet the mind and being introspective. Confident people could either be introverted or extroverted, and they are not afraid to express themselves in their own unique way. Confidence is also not the absence of fear or doubt, because some people feel like if you're confident, then you're just like Superman, nothing scares you. So confident people, they feel fear, they feel doubt, like every human being. Every human, once you're human, once you bleed, you have fear, you have self-doubt. Elon Musk does, Donald Trump does. But the difference is that they don't allow it hold them back. They don't allow these feelings hold them back. They are still able to operate. They still force themselves to operate even with these feelings of fear and self-doubt. They still move forward, taking actions with their heads held high, even with the feeling of fear and doubt present. So take for instance Donald Trump and his near-death experience, having been in a position in which he would have been assassinated by a sniper's bullet. This was something that was globally known. I don't think there is anyone who does not know about this. But the point is that this bullet missed his head by a few inches, only to graze his ear instead. And just a few seconds after that happened, he stood up from the ground. He stood up tall with his fist raised high, and he was chanting, "Fight, fight, fight." Now, think about it. How would most people react to such a situation? Do you think he was not afraid at that moment? He was, obviously. He was. That was why when the bullet was fired, he first fell to the floor immediately to understand what was going on before he stood up again with clenching his fist and shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." So what's the point I'm trying to make? I'm trying to say that even with that feeling of fear, he was still able to operate. But most people allow the fear overcome them. Most people would probably lay there and cry. That's what the average man would do. Now, what am I saying? I'm not saying that if a gun is pointed at you, or if you are aware that a sniper is trying to fire you, just stand there and be a clear target. No. What am I saying? I'm saying you should still be able to calm your mind enough that you can think clearly. What most people fail to understand, and I believe why most people actually fail, is because they lack the critical understanding that confidence can help them achieve things in the long run, even if not immediately. So just take your time and think of some of the most successful leaders in society. A lot of them had nothing growing up, but over a period of time, they were able to understand this secret, incorporate it into their life, and attract abundance at some point in their life. Just take a second to think of Oprah Winfrey. She was born into poverty. She was raped multiple times. She even bore a child out of wedlock. Yet she became one of the most successful women on the planet, if not the most successful woman actually on the planet. Think of Steve Jobs, the then CEO and founder of the now famous company, the now famous Apple company. Think of how he got kicked out of his own company by his own employees. But the fact that he never gave up, and the fact that he never lost his confidence, he was eventually called back by those same employees and put into the head position of the company. And then he made the company to become the first $1 trillion corporation ever in the entire world. These are what they do. Now think of these leaders. You're not so different from them, All you just need to do is apply the simple information that I'll be sharing with you now. The information that happens to be the secret, the source of their confidence, the source of their success. And now the moment you've been waiting for, the revelation of the source of unstoppable confidence. These secrets have been broken down into 3 simple points, all of which I'll take one after the other. The first being the brainwash, the second is the aura, and the third being action. Towards the ending of this video, after these 3 points has been shared, I'll be giving you one extra bonus point, one that when incorporated with these 3 major points I have just mentioned, would change your life dramatically and considerably, possibly forever. And now we're diving deep into a concept that might sound a little intense, but trust me, once you understand it, your life will never remain the same. It definitely won't be the same. We're talking about the brainwash, not the sinister, evil, or negative kind we usually see in movies, but a deliberate, powerful, and transformative process of rewriting your inner narrative to become a magnet for everything you desire. You see, most people wander through life with a pre-programmed script, that is, a mindset that has already been programmed and handed down to them by be it their society, their family, and even their past experience. This script or mindset is often contaminated and whispers a lot of doubt, limits your potential, and keeps you trapped in a cycle of mediocrity. But what if you could rewrite that script? That is, what if you could change that mindset? What if you could brainwash yourself into actually becoming who you know you can become, who you want to become, who you deeply desire to become? What if you could take back control of your inner dialogue and engineer your reality to become as you desire, as the author of your fate, which you actually are? But now that's the power of the brainwash. Let's break it down. Your brain is a supercomputer constantly processing information and shaping your perception of the world. The problem is, it's often running on outdated software filled with limiting self-belief, self-doubt, which is the same thing that prevents you from getting what you actually want. To become unstoppably confident, you need to upgrade that software. You need to install a new operating system, one that's built on unshakable self-belief and unwavering conviction. That is, any belief or thought that you have now that might take power away from you, once you are aware of it, immediately replace it with a thought or belief that could empower you, making you more powerful. That is, putting control of your reality back into your hand. An example of the brainwash in action could be having a limiting belief such as, I'm depressed, and depression is a sign of weakness. And if I'm struggling with depression, it means I'm just not strong enough to handle life's challenges. Now, that is a limiting belief. But having known that this is a limiting belief, having been aware that this is a thought pattern that goes on in your mind, you then replace it with an empowering belief such as, I might or might not be depressed. So therefore, if I am, depression is a signal that something in my life needs to change. And I have the power to make those changes and take back control of my life and situation, therefore resulting in improved mental health. That is an example of the brainwash being used. Infuse into your mind thoughts that are empowering. Any thought or belief that does not give you power should be changed and replaced with one that puts control into your hands, that puts you in control of your life. Your mind, your subconscious, it doesn't know the difference between reality and vivid imagination. That's the fact, and that's why the process of brainwash is very effective. That is why it works very properly. That is why it's very effective, and that's why it works very properly for all those who have used it. Think of some of the most successful leaders in society. An example could be like Germany, Adolf Hitler, and the Holocaust. The most successful leaders and achievers we know today in society never had any real reason or evidence outside of themselves to believe that they could actually achieve greatness. Elon Musk did not build a spaceship before he believed he could. He never saw any sign, he never saw any validation from the external world telling him that one day he's going to invent something that could change humanity. He's going to invent a spaceship that can be reused. It is through the process of brainwashing himself that he made himself understand. He made himself believe that this was something that could be done. If it has not been done by anyone, then it was going to happen through him. Successful individuals do not buy sports cars before they believe they could. They believe they could, then they eventually are in positions where they are able to buy those sports cars. The idea of brainwash is very simple. Think of any major successful leader in the world, probably one that is known on a global scale. They have applied the brainwash consciously or unconsciously. You don't even need to be aware that you're doing it before it becomes effective. But the fact that you are aware while you're doing it only makes it more potent, because you are now fully taking back control of your life and rewiring your mind to serve you. Remember, the mind can either be a friend, it can either be an ally, or it can be an enemy, because habitually the mind will always try to bring you down. It will always remind you why you are weak. So now I'm going to run down on 5 simple steps, one after the other, that you could take to achieve effective brainwashing. So the first step would be to identify your limiting belief. What are holding you back? Can you be able to identify the challenges that are holding you back? Once you identify them, I would advise you to write them down so that it becomes very clear. You're able to now perceive them on a conscious level. So identify your limiting belief and write them down. Write down every doubt, every fear, expose them, bring them out into the open, because the truth is that if you know what your obstacle is, if you understand what is holding you back, then it will be easier for you to overcome it, because at least you can now identify it. But if you had no idea, if you couldn't identify what is holding you back, the truth is that you would always be held back. That's reality. Then the second step after you have identified your limiting belief is to then craft a powerful counter affirmation, not wishful thinking. Craft a powerful counter affirmation, that is a statement of absolute certainty that counters that negative or limiting belief. An example could be, I am worthy. An example could be, I am worthy, I am capable, I am unstoppable. And you need to feel this inside you. You need to believe them greatly. So in the first step, if you have identified your limiting belief, the second step is to now craft a powerful counter affirmation, one that replaces the old belief that you had, the old pattern of thinking, and then puts you in a position where there seems to be more potential in the world for you. That is why after you have identified your limiting belief, you need to replace them with beliefs that are more powerful. Beliefs like, I could achieve anything I put my mind to. I could achieve anything I want to. 20 years from now, I'm going to be the greatest in my field. You don't need to get validation from the outside world for you to know that this is possible. You understand? You don't need to have a reason given to you by the outside world. You don't need your friends to tell you how they believe in you. No, nobody needs to believe in you now. All you just need to do is believe in yourself. That's the idea of the brainwash. Believe that one day you fly to Mars and host a concert there. If you're a musician, believe that maybe you'll be the first artist to fly to Mars and host a concert there. The more consistent you are with this belief, the more powerful it becomes, the more potent it becomes, the more capabilities of transforming your life for good. So we then move to the third step. The third step is immersive visualization. Immersive visualization. So you need to be able to close your eyes and see yourself in that situation, in that state where you are supremely confident, where you have everything under control. You have your life in order. You have the cars, you have the girls, you have the successful business, you have the children. You just have everything working out for you. This is not wishful thinking. When we move into action as the third step, you would understand why I say this is not wishful thinking, because these are procedures, these are steps you would have to take, as all of them result eventually in being that person you have imagined, that person you have seen within your visualizations. So you need to immerse yourself in your visualizations of that person you wish to become. You need to see it, you need to feel it, you need to live it. Imagine your ideal reality with every sense engaged. You need to engage your senses as if it has already happened. You need to feel what that's you 5 years from now, 1 year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You need to be able to feel how they would feel having accomplished what you wish to accomplish now. Do you understand? Your brain can't tell the difference, because that's just the truth. Your brain does not know the difference between reality and imagination. Once you are able to immerse yourself in this visualization, things start to happen within you that you will never understand. You start to experience synchronicities. So we move into the next step, the fourth step, which is repetition. So what do I mean by repetition? I just mean consistency, being able to hammer these affirmations, these visualizations into your subconscious. How do you hammer them into your subconscious? How do you hammer these visualizations or affirmations into your subconscious? You do this by making sure that you are practicing the brainwash on a daily basis. You're doing it multiple times a day. What this does is it builds neural pathways. On a subconscious level, it becomes a habit at some point that you don't need to sit down somewhere and just consciously visualize the life you want to live or you want to have. If you do this every single day for about a month, your mind starts to go into a sort of trance without you doing much about it. You just notice that you start visualizing more about your future. And once your subconscious is able to take over and you start being able to visualize, that's when the real change starts to happen. So now we move into step 5. And step 5 is act as if. This is the last step under the brainwash. Act as if. This step is key. So what do I mean by act as if? It means live now. What do I mean? I mean, live the life you desire now. Dress the way you see your future self dressing, the you who is unstoppably confident. Speak the way they would, or speak the way he or she would. Breathe the way he or she would. Move the way they would move. Walk the way they would walk. This is the secret. This is the secret. This is the final step of the brainwash. Your actions reinforce your beliefs. Do you understand? Your actions reinforce your beliefs. So in this final step, after you have done everything, that is from the first step to the fourth step, which is identifying your limiting belief, crafting counter affirmations, immersing yourself in deep visualizations, then repeating this with consistency every single day. The final step is now act as if. Now let's talk about examples. That is examples of real people with real results who have used the brainwash. So I'm sure you know of or have heard of Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm sure you've watched Terminator. Hasta la vista, baby. So Arnold visualized himself becoming a world champion in the bodybuilding industry. He visualized his success before it even happened. He acted as if he was already a champion. He saw himself on magazine covers, giving speeches and living the life of abundance. He brainwashed himself into believing he had already succeeded. The same thing happened in the life of Muhammad Ali. This is someone else we all know or might have heard about. He's also a very big global figure. He declared he was the greatest boxer before he was able to prove it. Now, Muhammad is a very incredible figure. I specifically chose him for this example because for you to claim you are the greatest in a sport where you are in the public eye and the public can easily judge you when you flop, it takes a lot of confidence. So you need to imagine the level at which Muhammad Ali brainwashed himself into believing he was the greatest of all time. He always said it even before he became it. He always said it even before he could prove it. He wasn't looking for a validation externally to tell him that, oh, look, you probably are the greatest, so you should believe. No, he did none of that. He believed it and then he proved it. He believed it and then the world believed him as well. Why? Because he eventually proved he was. He used affirmations like, I am the greatest, to instill a level of confidence that was unmatched. He brainwashed himself into believing he was the best, and he performed as if he was actually the best. So now Arnold Schwarzenegger and Muhammad Ali, none of them waited for validation. They created it. They rewrote their scripts. They changed their inner narrative, and so can you. Your worth is intrinsic. It's not dependent on external factors. Stop seeking external validation. Stop seeking it. Claim it. It's within you. Brainwash yourself into believing you are who you want to be. You can become who you want to be anytime, any day. But in order for you to manifest in a very solid and stable manner, you need to be so consistent that you actually become it, and everyone around you can see that you are a different person, that you are now new. How did that happen? It happens over a period of time. It does not just happen within a day of applying these steps. So you need to be able to do this. You need to be able to apply these steps to brainwashing yourselves multiple times a day for at least 2 months. If I would give you advice, when I started, I did it for about 6 months. These are the steps you have to take into brainwashing yourself. I must say that they are very effective. And remember, every successful individual you can think of today, be it a musician, be it a successful leader, who has consistently showed up, who has consistently dominated, who has consistently proven that they are really who they believe they are. But now, before I move on to the second secret, which is the aura, I'd like to start by sincerely applauding you for watching this video up until this moment. And by the time you're done, you'd have all the information you need to transform your life considerably. So if you get value out of this video, click the like button and subscribe. But then, we move on to the next secret. We often underestimate the power of our presence. Beyond words, beyond actions, lies a subtle yet potent force. It's your aura. It's the silent language of your being, a projection of your inner state that shapes your interactions, how you're being perceived. But now, we're dissecting the aura, just as we have the brainwash, mastering the art of projecting magnetic confidence. Yes, on the aura, you'd be mastering the art of projecting magnetic confidence. Your aura isn't some mystical concept, it's a tangible expression of your psychological and physiological state manifested through your posture, through your expressions, through your movements, through your energy. It's the sum of your non-verbal communication, a broadcast signal that influences how you're being perceived and how you attract opportunities, attention, and even people. The fundamental principle of this is your outer expressions are not merely reflections of your inner world. They are actively shaping your inner world, your inner state. By consciously altering your physical state, you can directly influence your internal state, your emotional state, and consequently, your aura. So now, we'll further break down the secret of the aura into steps that, if achieved, could transform your force field, that is, your aura, into that of power, strength, and magnetism. So we start by the first, which is posture. Your posture. Posture is the foundation of your aura. It's not just about standing tall, it's about embodying a sense of power and self-assurance. Pay attention to subtle postural cues. Even slight adjustments like lifting your chest or straightening your spine can make a significant difference. These psychological or otherwise bodily shifts leads to increased feelings of confidence and power. Our bodies are wired to reflect our emotional state. Posture is a direct expression of your confidence. It's a direct expression of our confidence and self-assurance. Upright posture signals our dominance and competence, while slumped posture signals submission, insecurity, and unassuredness, you not being sure of yourself. I bet you wouldn't want that. I bet you wouldn't want to be perceived as not being confident or being insecure or not being sure of yourself. When you stand tall, you literally take up more space, which is a primal signal for power. Practice power poses regularly. When you stand, whether waiting for someone or standing at a line, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, chest out, and your head held high. Maintain good posture throughout the day, because what happens is that the more you keep doing this on a conscious level, it gets to a point where you no longer have to be conscious of your posture. Your posture just automatically becomes better as a result of having done this multiple times. Sit and stand with your spine straight, shoulder back, and your head up. Be mindful of your posture in social situations. And now, having been done with the posture as a part of the aura, we move on to the next. We move on to expression. Your expression. Your facial expressions are a windows into your soul, revealing your emotion, your intention. even your confidence level. They are another powerful component of your aura. And in this point, one of the most powerful expressions to have is that of stoicism. No emotion at all, no expression at all, just a state of utter calm and relaxation of every single muscle on your face. I will not hit this point much. Why? Is because I'm going to cover it in another video. The power of being stoic in our expression. Take note, being able to maintain a very calm facial expression, one which does not convey happiness, which does not convey anger, which does not show any sign of what you actually feel, is a very powerful expression to have. Another expression I'm also going to talk about a little is smile, having a smile on your face. When you smile, smile with your eyes too. Smile with your eyes. They should crinkle a little. This type of smile is perceived as more authentic and trustworthy. And before I forget, look people in the eye when you talk to them. Eye contact is also very crucial. It conveys confidence, sincerity, and engagement. Practice smiling genuinely. And when you smile, focus on engaging the muscles around your eye. Make it seem like you genuinely care about the reason why you smile, whatever that may be. Make eye contact with people. Hold their gaze for a few seconds. It's important. And remember, be mindful of your facial expressions throughout the day. So another expression we should also take note of is your movement. Your movements are truly a reflection of your energy and confidence. Beyond manners of walking, your overall body language conveys an immense amount of information. Gestures, posture, and your ability to take up space all contribute to your aura. How you walk matters a lot. Walk like you know where you're going to. Hesitant or fidgety movement signals insecurity and anxiety. We don't want that. Be mindful of your movements in social situations. Avoid fidgeting or nervous habits. Think of it this way. To convey the right aura through your movement, think of yourself as a predator rather than a prey. How does a prey move? How would a rat move? How would a gazelle or a rabbit move? We don't want that. Their movements are fidgety, shifty, and nervous. Like I said, we don't want that. You'd want to move like a predator, like a lion moves, like the elephant in the room. Self-assured, secure, steady, and grounded. Keep your head high. We've explored the power of the brainwash, the art of rewiring your inner narrative, and the aura, the capacity to project power. Without the third, they are like seeds without soil, potential without expression. But then, a powerful mind without purposeful movement is like a race car without an engine. Today, we're igniting that engine, the transformative force that bridges the gap between your desire and your reality. We're dissecting now the power of action. This is the third secret. This is the third and final secret, the power of action, which is the transformative process we all know to convert our intentions into tangible results. Many people get stuck in the loop of dreaming, visualizing, and affirming, but then they fail to take the crucial step of acting. They are stuck in the realm of someday and one day, while the world rewards those who act now. They are basically like architects with blueprints, but who have no builders. Action is the construction crew that creates your dream, the one within your mind, the one that you visualize. Is the physical manifestation of your inner world. That is what action brings about. We've explored the power of the brainwash, reprogramming your inner narrative, but even the most potent mental condition is useless without the catalyst of action. That is why this secret, this third and final secret, is incredibly important. It's not enough to believe, you must do. Action is about breaking free from the inactions of comfort, confronting fears, and rewiring the fabric of your reality. It's the physical manifestation of the brainwash, the tangible proof that your inner programming has taken root. A concept discovered by the psychologist Martin Seligman, known as learned helplessness, describes the state of passivity that occurs when individuals believe they have no control over the outcomes of their life. This concept of learned helplessness is very terrible and is a state that most people find themselves, usually unconsciously. They are unaware that they could take back control of their lives by taking action, even if small actions. As such, action builds to compound over time, creating an observable difference. Action is the antidote to learned helplessness. By taking even small steps, you begin to regain a sense of control and agency. Every action, no matter how small, is a vote of confidence to yourself. How do you implement the necessary steps to taking action? First, you do this by micro actions. Start with small, achievable tasks. Break down large goals into small, manageable steps. And in about 1 in 10 times, celebrate small wins. This is very important. Acknowledge and celebrate every action you take. This reinforces positive behavior. But then again, challenging limiting beliefs. You remember what I told you about in the first step in the brainwash? I said identify your limiting beliefs. This is also very powerful in this case because when you identify and challenge the beliefs that contribute to learned helplessness, you greatly stimulate your dominance in moving forward. Also focus on controllables. When I say controllables, I mean focus on what you can control. Focus your energy on the aspect of your life that you can control. Then practice being deliberate. Practice taking actions even when you feel resistance. Practice taking action even when you feel so much comfort that it wouldn't make sense stepping out of your comfort zone to do so. So Newton's first law of motion states that an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion. Don't forget that. This principle applies to human behavior as well. Once you start taking action, it becomes easier to maintain momentum. Momentum creates a feedback loop where each action reinforces the next, making it only easier to take more action, like a ball rolling down the hill. Keep track of your actions and progress, as this provides a visual reinforcement of your momentum. Also prevents obstacles that prevent you from taking actions like habits, friends, or even pleasure-seeking behaviors, which creates their own feedback loop of comfort seeking. And use the 2-minute rule, which means if a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. That's very important. Now let's talk examples, or better yet, looking at the lives of every successful individual we admire today in society for their confidence. We would understand that such levels of confidence was as a result of their conscious or unconscious understanding of the 3 secrets to magnetic confidence, which I have shared with you today, and also the implementation of these secrets into their lives. Remember that you're no different from these individuals, and knowing what they know now, all you just need to do is take action and implement them into your life. But then understanding and acknowledging that you got here for guidance. Remember that when you implement the value you got out of this video, you'll be a different person in weeks. Therefore, if you get value out of this video, click the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and feel free to watch it again to make sure you don't forget anything. And for those who stuck with me to the very end of this video, remember I told you earlier that I'll be giving a bonus before we are done with this video. And that bonus is called mirroring. Mirroring the confident and magnetic individuals you admire. That is, behaving the way they would behave if you were them, or rather, behaving as they would behave. I want you to understand that the quickest way to build perceived confidence is by mirroring the behaviors or habits of those you admire. Have you ever been in a situation you seem not to know how to respond? If yes, ask yourself, how would a specific individual who you might happen to admire for the way they happen to deal with certain situations confidently, ask yourself, how will they behave in this situation I find myself? However you think they would respond to that situation if they were in your position, do exactly that. Mirror it. Reflect the actions, their behaviors. This way, you will never short of a confident and magnetic approach. So if you get value out of this video, click the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching.